Hello everyone, welcome back to another Aviation Master live stream. Today we are on the FlyJSim 727 for the first time in the channel. I have flown this plane for a few days and it is like amazing. I just picked it up earlier this week, and all I've been doing is tracking VORs. This does have an option to use an FMC though, but tracking VORs is mainly what I do on this, since I very recently learned how to use that on IFR aircraft mostly that fly up at like 30,000 feet. It's a little bit simpler to do it actually on the GAs, but here you have to use 2 VHFs and all. But pretty good aircraft. I highly recommend it to anyone looking for some classic airliners to fly. I've already loaded in the fuel, so I'll save you guys the pain of watching that. And let's go ahead and hop into the cockpit. I actually started it up, but decided to just shut it down, just to, you know, do the cold and dark startup on stream. So let's go ahead and do that. GPU is actually connected, so we will be using our GPU for startup. Well, not for startup, you know, just for setup, and our APU for startup. So we're gonna go ahead and get the battery on. And internal power is on. Cam Jarrett, welcome to the stream. So nice to have you here. Great. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab my checklist just in case I need it. So let's go ahead and switch this over to external power on both of these. Turn on our lights, beacon and navigation lights. Let's go ahead and hop over here. Nothing else to do really. I don't really run through the tests all the time, but you know, we could if we wanted to. Let's hop over here. It's a lot easier. There it is. That's the fire warning test. We could also do the lights here, which are right next to the PR gauges, and annunciator, which is below the APU panel. So that's the annunciator lights test. Leading edge device tests, I don't really mind. But we've already loaded in our aircraft, so basically if you don't have an FMC installed, which we aren't flying with, well, you have an option to do that, but we're going to be using old school VORs, and I mean, yeah, VOR navigation and our HSIs to make our way over to Phoenix. And I also have a top descent calculator to save us the time of having to do that during the descent stage, because this airplane does require a lot of attention during stages of flight. So it does save me a lot of work. Anyways, whoops. All right. Ground proximity. Okay. Control power. Okay, so I think we're pretty much all set. We can just go ahead and arm this. So we're gonna tune in the VOR for Sacramento, which is, I'm not sure, but I have Sky Vector up here in my nav log, and I believe we only have one of them, so we're gonna have to track outbound. We are flying a Sid out of Sacramento out of 17 left, so we're gonna have that set up too. This is the Sid that we're gonna take, which is the Sket 3 departure for runways 17 left and right, and we're taking 17 left, so it'll be an immediate turn to 88 degrees, and we're going to fly to the Dosco intersection, and from there we are going to, actually it's not an intersection, the airway, well, the waypoint, whatever, which is part of the Sid, and then we're just going to fly straight to our cruising altitude. Seems to specify some headings, but for altitudes it's not like necessarily a big deal. I'm just gonna fly straight to flight level 330, which I think, or 310, I have to check that. So it's gonna be flight level 330 for cruise today over to Phoenix. It's gonna be about an hour and a half of flight time. Fly with Rev, welcome to the stream. Nice to have you in here. Great. So let's find a nearby VOR, and we're going to tune that in, and we're going to fly outbound towards our waypoints, and hopefully it has a DME, because that would make things a lot easier. So let's see, we got Sacramento. It is kind of hard to see with World VFR on Sky Vector, so there it is. Alright, we've got McClellan VOR. Actually, no, that's the weather station. There it is. So that one we can fly out of right there. Let's see. I'm going to take a look at the options we've got nearby, because we do need one for departure for reference. And Rancho Murrieta seems to be a good option since it's right out of Sacramento, so we can just fly that on departure. So that's, let's see, that's the area. Let's take a look. So we've only got like one VOR, so as I said, we're going to track outbound, and once we hit that VOR, which is actually Oscar Alpha Lima VOR, which we will tune in on standby, we're going to fly outbound from that one, and that's probably going to be like sort of our orientation into our star, because we are going to have a star too. So seems like there is a VOR that we can use, and that would be the Sacramento Executive VOR. That would be a little bit off course, but that's probably our best option for DME. Let's see. Okay, I got it. I mean Sacramento. 115.2, and that would be the VOR we're going to take on departure. So we're going to tune that in. This is my first time flying this route, so I haven't really planned stuff out too well. I just decided the route this morning, so I should have taken a look at my available options around the area, but that works fine. We can fly this outbound, so what we're going to do is, as soon as we hit Sketwin, we're just going to fly straight out for what seems to be 177 miles towards the Oscar Alpha Lima VOR, or the Coaldale VOR, so that's what we're going to do. And to fly that outbound, let me just check. So yeah, there's we're not on a Victory Airway, so it's just going to be straight out since we're on departure right out of that. Great. Let's see. There's also a couple alternatives we could take to that one, but maybe it's fine. We'll just take Sacramento 115.2 straight out, about, let's see. So that would be yeah, 88 degrees. So we've got that one tuned in, and we're flying from the VOR, so we'll make sure we have that from flag on. Sacramento 88 for about 177 miles. It's just a course. There it is. It says 2, so how about we flip that around? Hold on. Whoops. Whoa. Okay. Actually, it's from. That's my bad. Anyway, we've got the VOR tuned in, and on standby we're going to have Coaldale, my bad, VOR, which is going to be, whoops, kind of did something there. That's going to be 117.7, and as soon as we hit that, we're going to tune that into our standby here, because we're not going to track that one inbound until, like, we're close enough. Let's go ahead and take a look at our Sid chart too. So let's see. Initial climb 168 to 540, then left turn direct skits 1, then on transition maintain flight level 19 to expect final altitude 10 minutes after departure. So 19 okay, 19 that's gonna be our initial climb. So we'll get everything sorted in the air. We'll have flight altitude at 33,000 feet for landing altitude. We're going to take a look at that during pushback. We don't really need to know that now. So that is good for now. I don't want to tune it into, actually, I think I should. I don't know if it has a DME though. I'm going to have to check the chart. So taking a look at that one, it seems like, let's see, World VFR did tell me. Doesn't seem, but we'll try anyway. We'll just put it on there to have that on the DME2 and stuff. So for departure, let's take a look at that first initial departure. It's gonna be about 7.5 miles, so about 5 minutes. We're just gonna fly 7.5 miles on that heading. And then 88 degrees for about 177 miles. And that'll pretty much just be our route. We'll just take a look at the rest and see if everything works. Okay, so 190 is set. This is on nav mode indeed. Altimeter, I'm going to go ahead and grab that from Tab 2. Hold on. Airports, SMF, and go ahead and take a look at the ATIS, which is 126.75.
Sacramento INTL
Altimeter 2977, same thing as yesterday. Last night I flew late night route out of New York City.
Sky conditions 2,500 broken, 4,500 broken, 6,500 overcast, temperature 2.10.
It says departing 34 right, but I'm not really going to pay attention to that. We're just going to continue. There is no ATC since we're not on VORs.
Advise on initial contact, you have Victor.
Alright, so I'll just change it to whatever. There we go. So heading 168, left turn, 88 degrees, and then DOSCO, and then 103, and then it says 103, so we're gonna fly that heading inbound towards the VOR. And I honestly don't know how far off course this one's gonna take us, because it's a little bit to the left. So like, I think at DOSCO we're gonna have to switch over. So that's what I think. Alright, 2977 set on all the altimeters. That is pretty good. Let's go ahead and make sure that we've got all our frequencies tuned in properly, and we will go ahead and continue with our before start checklist. There we go. Okay, so let's review this one more time. So we're gonna fly to Scatwin, the waypoint, for like 8 miles out of the Sacramento International Airport. DOSCO for about 60 miles. Well, actually, that's to DOSCO. It's gonna take 60 miles to actually get there. So to DOSCO, it's gonna take 60 miles. Actually, not to DOSCO. Wait, yes, to DOSCO. My bad. And then from DOSCO, 117 miles to the VOR, the Coaldale VOR, which is Reno. It's very close to the Reno area. Very, very close, I can already tell. So just by looking at this chart. Anyway. Then, I'm going to actually have Maybe I should have Coaldale tuned in on my second VHF 117.7, and I'm gonna have the course tuned in too. So that would be, so if we were to fly this inbound, that would be 89. So 089 towards the VOR. Whoops, opposite way. So we've got 089 tuned in, and I don't think we're gonna catch that yet. We've got that as active on the second VHF 2. So yeah, we've got that all planned out. So let's proceed with our before start checklist. Cargo fire detection, put recorder, stall warning. Okay, so I'll do my flight recorder, stall warning, and test that. Very loud. And turn on the window heat while we're at it. Okay, great. And alright, let's see. Emergency exit lights are armed, and passenger signs as required. So no smoking comes on. This is actually a cargo flight, so we're not really gonna need that theoretically speaking. But I'm just gonna turn those on anyway, so that way we won't have to take care of them later. Oil cooler normal, STR on the DC meter, which it is, as you can see. And hold on, there it is. Oil cooler is at normal. It's gonna go on ground off on departure. That's just how it is. Gas per fan on, left and right packs. There it is. Both packs are off. APU bleed is on, so that's good. Pressurization, flight altitude, cabin altitude, auto set. Actually, let's do that now. So for landing, we are going to have, so when we land at Phoenix, we're just going to have 1134 on the landing elevation. Any altitude, oops, 1130, yeah, 30. 1130, and that's fine, and flight altitude is 330 flight level. Let's proceed with the checklist. Nav GPS is set, altimeter and pass fuel cargo, everything is set, so we should be ready. Hold on, let me just make sure. There we go, yeah, that's ready. And let's go ahead and call a pushback guy. Whoops, open the wrong menu. Better pushback.
Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go. Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
Seems like we had a pre-planned route already. Anyway, oops, APU is gonna come on first. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Great. Jesus Christ. You didn't have to go all the way there. Go ahead and hear that APU firing up. Beautiful. You guys believe those things are textures? These are like actually textures. They're not like model things. It's pretty high quality. Pretty insane. So we're gonna go ahead and do a trip on this and close the gens.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Sometimes it doesn't like to close. I'll wait a little bit more. I think it's just waiting for the temp to drop. It's already in the green, but I'm just gonna wait. There it is. Alright, and since we got that, external power is off. So we can just go ahead and get rid of that. There it is. Alright, and the central power is gonna go to APU. And so is this thing here. These are good. For the APU startup, that is complete. So,
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
fuel boost pumps, go ahead and turn those on. Whoops. Yeah, my mouse like DPI is way too fast. I should probably lower that. External power, carts, lights beacon on. Okay, let's go ahead and release the parking brake for the lady to push us back.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Alright, awesome. So, The order is 2, 3, 1, so we're going to go ahead and start engine number 2 first, and we're going to wait for that N2 to rise to 20%, and then we'll be good to go. Let's go to Phoenix. Holy moly. Yeah, the window views are going to be extremely loud, because somehow, you know, the FlyJSim 727, this particular version, appears to not have a cabin, so, I can't look out the window, which is normal, obviously, but it's, like, way too loud. Oh, I forgot the... My bad, that's my fault. Oh, wait. Alright, never mind, it's starting up. I thought I screwed up something. Let's wait for the RPM to increase on that N2. Rotation. Now let's push ourselves back to this taxiway, and we're going to taxi straight over to 17 left. Take a look at the airport chart too, to kind of plan our route over to the runway. So it seems like we are literally facing the opposite way of where we want to take off. So, as soon as we're pushed, we're going to taxi on Alpha. We're going to make a right turn on Yankee. Then Charlie or Whiskey also works, and then Delta to 17 left. And we are going to be departing on the Skitwin, or however you say that, 3 departure. This thing is really nice. Honestly, like, if you don't want to do the VOR things, I highly recommend the plane anyway, because you can still fly the plane with an FMC. I just decided to just use VOR frequencies and HSIs because it just feels more realistic.
Operation complete. Go ahead and set the parking brake. Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
20% N2, and you're going to go ahead and bring this fuel control valve up. Fuel control switch, like that. Alright, oil pressure light went off, and we can go ahead and start up our first engine, and we'll be good for the engine startup. Great. Let's go ahead and wait. Awesome. There we go, it's past 20
Tow is
RPM.
disconnected and bypass fit has been removed. Hand signal on the right. We'll see you next time, and have a safe flight.
Start valve lights went off there. Low oil pressure is also going to come off anytime soon. Okay, so it seems like we are good for the after startup checklist. Alright, after engine start, hydraulic A and B on slowly. Okay, so we can just go ahead and turn this one on, wait for the light to extinguish. It's going to go into the green. And we're going to do this one. And that's immediately going to come out. Pressure is fine. Awesome. And I think we can close the gens now. The gen ties can be closed. Let's go ahead and close those. And we can get rid of the APU now. So you're going to hear that spooling down in a second. Central power is coming over to Gen 3. So we got those lights is going to extinguish. Bus tie, all lights extinguished. And all of the bus ties are off. I mean, all of the lights are extinguished. Cargo heat outflow normal. Cooling doors are open. Left and right packs on. Cooling doors are open. So we got those checked. Bleeds, go ahead and close these. And okay, so okay, I'm gonna take care of this later. So let's continue. Pressure, go ahead and hit that over to flight. That's switched. And for rest of the checklist, I think we are pretty much good to go here. So, let's go ahead and head over to our before taxi checklist. Auto brakes, auto brakes RTO, and set to rejected takeoff. On out for the transponder, we're not on a specific squawk code. Okay, probe heaters are coming on, anti-ice as required. The temperature seems to be pretty decent here and all the way, here on the west coast. Temperatures seem to be fine, so I'm not gonna turn that on for now. Alright, weather radar system on, and we're gonna set the EPR bugs. We're gonna take a look at our perf card in a second. So, perf card is right here. It's gonna be 2.15 for the normal EPR, and for the V speeds, 124, 126, or is that 129? I can't really tell. But we're gonna go ahead and set the bugs, and EPR is also set, so we're gonna make sure to be there as well. I'm gonna go ahead and set flaps 20, and set the stap trim too. Great. Okay. And alright. Flaps are checked. Flight controls. We got that. Left, right aileron, lower rudder, upper rudder, and forward and back on those ailerons. Beautiful. That's working. Alright. Lights as required. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and take a look at the lights. Taxi lights are coming on, beacon lights, navigation lights are fine. Runway turn off, that's gonna stay off for now. Let's get rid of this performance card. So we're pretty much ready to taxi now. I'm gonna go ahead and release the brakes, bring the power up, and we're gonna taxi over to runway 17 left via Alpha. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. This airplane powers up pretty quick. It's really cool. This airport is also very nice, being freeware. I don't think it uses any libraries. I just discovered it one day, and I've been using it since. I don't fly in here too much, do have to admit, but it is nevertheless a very good airport. Should fly on it more often, frankly. I think I'm too close to my rudder pedals. There we go. It's a bit better. I don't know if you guys can hear me well enough. I did turn down my mic volume a little bit so that it's not too loud. Okay, so let's go ahead and bring the power up a little bit more. Before takeoff, we're going to start with a before takeoff checklist because it's kind of extensive. Before takeoff checklist, well, it's not really extensive, but there's a lot you have to do on the check on the flight engineer area. So oil cooler, it's going to go ground off. I did see the fuel heat off. Yes, I'm right. Fuel heat is off. Auto pack trip normal, and that's going to go to normal. And start switches are guarded. I did guard them. I always guard them right after starting up the engines. So we're going to turn right here on Yankee, and then we're just going to go on this taxiway all the way down to Whiskey or Charlie or whatever. We might take Whiskey since it's like a little bit closer. Awesome. So, okay, speed breakdown, stop trim is set for takeoff, transponder, we're going to set it on the runway. Or actually, screw it. Let's just do that now. There's no need to wait for the runway. Lights as required, so lights are fine for now since we're not, we're still taxiing. Alright, seems that we are good to go for takeoff, so we're gonna go through the rest of the checklist as soon as we are holding short of the runway so that we can set everything else up. Alright, now we see the from flag for the station. We're going to fly from the Sacramento VOR. 88, not sure. I'm going to have to check that once again. I'll have to review it. I do know it's about 61 miles to the Dosco waypoint. Whoops, I was looking at Sky Vector for a second. I didn't realize how far off I was from my taxiway. My bad. Okay, so it seems like to be pretty straight out, so we'll take a look at Sky Vector again. So that's going to be, I think it was 163, and then 88 for 60 miles, and then 89 for 117 miles after we hit Dosco. And then we're going to tune in the other VOR, and then we're going to fly that inbound on 89 degrees, or I think it was 103 inbound to that VOR, Oscar Alpha Lima VOR. So we're going to fly directly towards that one. Very nice. Alright, we're on Whiskey, so we're going to turn left on Delta, and that is the last taxiway before runway 17 left. Taxiing pretty quickly. Alright, ever so slightly put it on the middle. We don't want to exceed 2.15 on the pressure DPR. So we'll make sure to keep it under that. Right on that, actually. That's the engine EPR for takeoff. So we'll keep it on that. And I'll have my checklist up if I need any help. So we could technically, I'm going to wait till we're all the way down towards Delta 3, and then we can take off. And I'm going to set my lights on the hold short. Alright, what am I missing? I'm just missing, like literally all I'm missing are the lights. Because the flaps are good. I don't want to check the outside view because it's going to be loud. Just listen. Hold on, I accidentally... There we go. See, that's just way too loud. And I don't have control over that, unfortunately. That is just like the only way I can get wing views. Alright, so we're going to turn right on this thing. There we go. Turn on my landing lights. We're about to enter the active runway. Runway turn-offs, strobes. Wing lights, sure. I mean, why not? It's going to be pretty cloudy today. Whoops. Alright, I forgot to wait a little bit until we reach, like, the end of the runway, like, wide. Set the brakes. Right on the numbers. Right after the numbers, actually. I think we went a little too far out. That's fine. Alright, so, Michael Foster, welcome to the stream. How are you doing? I hope you're doing great. Alright, lights are set. After takeoff checklist, gear up, flaps up. Oil cooler is going to set itself back to normal. Auto pack trip. Actually, I do have my pack set, right? I do have them. And that came off. Okay, great. So, we are going to go ahead and take off. Make sure I have my chart up for the departure. And it'll be 168. So right now we're currently heading, I'd say about that. And then we're going to turn left directly towards the Scatwin waypoint. And then fly directly to Dosco. And we're just going to fly outbound for about, say, 7 to 8 miles. We're going to fly outbound for another 60 miles before we hit Dosco. Alright, let's go. Whoops. It's scares me when I have my takeoff power above EPR. Let's keep that there.
80 knots.
80 knots. 100 knots. Speed checked. About to hit V1 there.
V1. Rotate.
Ever so slightly bring her up. 727-200 comes up a lot tougher than the 100. Positive rate, you're up. Alright, beautiful. There it is. Alright, in the station, okay. Continue to pitch up. I'll have this on nav lock. Whoops, I don't think I can do that. But we'll have this one on nav lock. Make our left turn. That was such a nice takeoff. Bring the power up a little more. Oh, we turn off lights and come off. And then right on the Scout and waypoint, we're going to go ahead and turn towards Dosco, I think it was. Yeah, Dosco. We're going to fly that heading for about 60 miles. So we're still hand flying the plane. Awesome. The Real Hats, welcome to the stream. So nice to have you here. Great to see you here. Oil cooler is going to go to normal, auto pack cut out, auto trip cut out. Just going to fly that a little bit more. Yeah, this plane is so nice. Let's take a look at some views. Still got our flaps out. It doesn't matter, it's fine. It's fine, we're going to bring him up slowly. Bring the power back just a tiny little bit to keep it there on that 200 mark. There we go. That's a little too rough, but that's fine. Alright. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? Since we're flying towards the waypoint, I'm just going to hold it at 88. So we're not going to fly towards this VOR, out of the Sacramento VOR. I'm just going to hold it at about 88. Like right at about there. I'm going to go ahead and engage autopilot, heading select, and we're going to keep it like right at about that. And also select my altitude, and we are going to go IAS hold. And I'm going to set my bug to about 230. Beautiful. And flaps are coming up to retracted. Oh my god, I forgot how those views are just crazy. I don't know why it does that. Like on the cargo version, I can't like do the views from the inside. That's fine. Totally fine. Actually, let's bring this knob up just a tiny little bit more. Great. Alright, Alright, it says about 88 degrees. So we are flying. Right on that, actually. Nearly. We're just gonna fly right on this heading all the way to Dosco. And actually, what I'm gonna do is, since I've got 117.7 tuned in there, it's not gonna get any signals yet. I don't think. 117.7, and I'm gonna go ahead and put in 103. Yeah, no, not yet. It's pretty far off still. Alright. Keeping that FAA limit. Clouds are starting to get really heavy on the frames now. Take a look at those views. Very nice. Very, very nice window views. FO can't even see the wing. How about the pilot, captain? Just like the very tip of it. I mean, the wings are very far back, so it's like really hard to get to that point. Alright, yes. Doing good. About 10,000 feet here. We're gonna go ahead and turn off the landing lights. I don't care about the passenger signs. We'll be fine. So, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and go through my after takeoff checklist. Okay, RTO, disarm. That's something I forgot to do. Disarm the auto brakes. 10,000 feet, latches required, seat belts, hydraulic speed, pressure is good. And we're going to cruise at flight level 330. So we're going to go ahead and fly directly to 330. Brakes. Make sure the frequency is correct. Whoops. Did not mean to do that. Yes, 117.7. And it seems to be... So I'm going to bring in my world VFR. So like immediately out. About 283 then, I think. So 283 immediately out, and so we're flying the inbound radial, so we're going to do 103, that's what we're going to fly. Beautiful. Things are going to start to get a little bit heavy, but the clouds are looking quite nice. Quite nice, not gonna lie. Check that everything's good. We should be fine. Alright, it's getting the 2 flag now, which is a good sign because we are gonna hit DOSCO pretty soon. I'm not really looking at my chart much. I'm just paying attention to the HSI. Alright, beautiful. It's got the 2 flag, and that VOR does have a DME, because as you can see I've got this on DME2 on my second navigation radio, and it's giving me a DME distance away from the VOR, so we're about 154 miles out. So that tells me that as soon as I hit DOSCO, I can switch over to that 103 track inbound towards the Oscar Alpha Lima VOR, which is near Phoenix. It's actually really close to Reno. A lot closer to Reno than it is to Phoenix, for sure. Alrighty. We are enjoying this a lot. I'm gonna go ahead and play some music so that it's not too dead quiet. Alright, stream safe lo-fi, there it is. Gorgeous. It's good music. Very good. How's that? Alright, so we're actually gonna hold it off at about, yeah, I think this is fine for climb, actually. We should be okay. So basically, how it's gonna be is as soon as the needle is gonna start to center, because this is a course directly towards the VOR, so I think it's gonna center right on DOSCO. So instead of using a GPS, you just like see the needle center on that course, and then you'd immediately switch over to the frequency. I mean, it is active currently, but you'd switch over to nav lock and fly directly towards the VOR, and it'll just do that itself. And I think we're gonna track it outbound for a few more miles. That's just personally what I think we're gonna do. Alright, let me check the volume for the stream. I did have that up on my phone. So. Real quick before we hit DOSCO. Go ahead and do that. Okay, volume for my mic is fine. I was just seeing how it was relative to my desktop audio volume. Just didn't want it to be way too high. Alright, great. So you guys can see, DOSCO is coming up, and that needle's gonna start to center pretty soon, I'm assuming. Haven't flown too many flights on this, so. But according to what I've seen, that's just how it works. I think it's gonna start to center really soon. Here it is. Alright, we have the course set. So I'm actually gonna set, actually no, I can't mess with the heading because it's on heading hole 11. But as soon as I switch over to that nav frequency, it's gonna fly me towards the VOR. So we're at 20,000 feet. Let's go ahead and keep monitoring the instruments. For cruise, we should be pretty much good to go. But I have to calculate my top of descent as well, so we have to like kind of keep that in mind. Alright, so I've never used this before. I just installed it earlier today. So I'll see how this works. It also works with the mouse clicks. I heard that you have to like scroll the wheel up or something. Pretty much. I think the needle is about to start to center. We're about 133 miles away, and we're going to be inbound. I'm not really sure if we're going to start the descent, where we're going to start the descent, because I have to calculate that prior to like actually descending. But luckily we have this cheap descent calculator that's going to help us determine that. Hold us on that IAS. On the 727, you should only like start worrying about controlling your auto throttle as soon as you're done with the climb, because it's not going to hold the IAS on climb. It's just holding the IAS because it's determining like the specific vertical speed required to keep the airspeed at the speed that it is. It's technically sort of an auto throttle, but it's not really like the modern auto throttle systems we have. I'd say it is, and it isn't an auto throttle. So it's sort of doing its little internal calculations. Also got these really nice details. By the way, the 17 down here, that's just the engine type. I saw that on the 727 guide because I was reading that. I was reading over that. It is pretty nice. Pretty cool to know. Got some fingerprints and stuff. Particles. I was actually planning on buying the FlyJSim 727, but you know, it's I mean the 737-200. 737-200, but I found the 727 more appealing, and both were on sale, but I decided to get this one instead. A little weird that it's not centering. I think I know why. I think the VOR isn't directly on the course of DOSCO. That's just common sense. I honestly should have known that. But nevertheless, we are going to switch over to nav lock mode and disengage heading select, and we're going to let the plane fly towards the VOR. Look at that detail. So nice. There we go. It is flying off course, don't worry. It's just that the VOR is a little bit like to the right of the actual course. That just happens. That's not gonna do anything. I'll keep it at 103. There we go. And we're just gonna let it fly that. Whoops. Because it seemed to be flying like it's slightly outward, and if we check sky vector, it sort of is slightly off. I can see that. Yep. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a look at my navigraph. I need to take a look at the arrival too. Flights, new flight, from sim brief. There we go. There we go. Let's see. It might just be a stupid mistake, because I think it's flying a little bit too much off course. Let's see. Okay, so if we take a look at sky vector. Ah, okay, I see. So it's 089 for 60 miles. I mean 117 miles. I had the course set wrong. I think I just looked at the other one. There we go. Needle has been centered and we're flying towards the VOR station properly now. I think the needle's moving to the right a little bit. Yep. That makes sense, that makes sense. I'm stupid. Imagery is going to be like really nice, especially on that arrival. Let me tell you that. flying it to the right. Don't worry. We're fine on the course. So it's flying straight towards the VOR, and then we're gonna have to turn. Right heading 130 for another 44 miles. So I'm just gonna, since this VOR also has a DME, I'll just fly outbound on the VOR about 130. Not on the VOR. I'll fly on heading 130, and I'll be tuned into the VOR on VHF2 so that I see the DME distance. So as soon as we hit that 44-mile point, it'll be Quebec 13. Whoops. There we go. Actually, I think it's halfway. Yeah, 44 miles to Quebec 13, and then from Quebec 13, we'll just continue to fly along that airway. And then Watro, so I'll take a look at the arrival charts. Alright. Weather's starting to clear out and the frames are starting to get better. Because the clouds do kind of mess up my frames. For sure. Let's go ahead and take a look at our HSI. So it seems like we are starting to center the needle again. That looks a lot better. I was starting to think that it was just wrong when it was flying off the course, but I was the one that's wrong. I set the wrong course. So I can't imagine what's going to be... Oh wait, it automatically set there, okay. So we're about 79 miles out. We'll be good. We'll be all set. And we're just gonna fly the VOR outbound 44 miles. So I'm start to make corrections to the left now. I remember on nav lock mode, it used to do this a lot. So sometimes pilots just fly on the heading for the 727. They just fly on heading mode for the course towards the VOR, but they still rely on the HSI to tell them like if they're good on the course to the station. So we're continuing to hold it off, and if we take a look at Avatab, I'm just going to bring up the pop-up, hold on, charts. It's going to be the Coyote 5 arrival, so Watro is the that's the Phoenix airspace. And then Coyote 5 arrival. Oh yeah, Coyote 5 to runway 8. So if we take a look, whoops. It doesn't show up on my sky vector, so I'm just gonna copy it off here. Actually, let me just bring up my PDF. Sacramento to Phoenix, there it is. So we're just gonna grab this. KSMF 17 left, Phoenix runway 8. So we're gonna copy this. We're just gonna paste it there. Watro and then Phoenix. The weird thing about this is that it's not showing me the star arrival. So Watro transition does show up, but I cannot see the freaking star on Sky Vector, so I'm gonna have to take a look at that myself. Phoenix. Okay, airport, no, arrival. And it's Kayat 5 arrival. So we're gonna go ahead and take a look at what we're gonna do after we pass Kayat. So, I mean, Watro. So Watro, flight level 290, and, okay, so Bulger City, VOR, 116.7, and we're gonna fly that 108. Then we've got the Drake VOR. We're gonna fly that. There we go. There's cold too. And then 115.6. All right. On Pitzer VOR. Great. No, this is the end of the ortho. We're gonna have some ortho tiles near Phoenix, by the way, so you guys don't have to be disappointed. We're gonna take a look at some more ortho once we get to Phoenix. For some reason, I think this is just because it's the border between Arizona and California, which is like just to our right, and there's ortho over there, but I don't have ortho for Phoenix, unfortunately. I should just get a bigger drive and like download ortho for like all the states. I should definitely do that. So we're coming in into Watro, so it's gonna be Boulder City VOR 116.7. So we're gonna put that on the standby. 116.7. All right. So we're about 48 miles out. We're still gonna track the Oscar Alpha Lima VOR outbound, about 44 miles. So we don't have to worry. Oh, I forgot about the movie thing. I'm sorry. Plane's looking pretty nice. I think we can just turn our wing lights off for now. There we go. Looks a lot better. That PVR also looks quite nice. In my opinion, probably some of the best PVR. And the detail on the cockpit is just insane too. The thing about this is that it doesn't have a cabin, which is very disappointing. However, it's fine. It's not really a deal breaker. Because you still got everything else, like the plane flies so nicely. Genuinely does. So, now that we are approaching the Oscar Alpha Lima VOR, which is right here. Let's just go ahead and discuss it. So it's going to be 130 degrees, about 44 miles. So I'll have that tuned in. Hold on. I'm ready. I'll have that ready. Set up. 5, 130, 135, 140. Alright, so we've got 140, okay, 130. 35, there it is, 130. That's set up. By the time we reach Coaldale, we're going to go ahead and make a right turn through 130 and fly that for about 44 miles, and we're going to track VOR outbound, and since this VOR does have a DME, that's going to work for us. We'll just navigate like that. This is such a different experience, like honestly, from modern airliners, just flying on the old jets. Never something I considered I liked so much, but I do. I do a lot. It is very fun. It's like an absolutely immersive, extremely immersive experience, because you get to do everything. Like, it's probably one of the most hands-on aircraft that there is to have, like, ever, because of how much there is to do. This is like a 3-pilot cockpit. So we've got the flight engineer station right there, and you got all the switches and stuff, as well as the overhead is relatively more simple. It's not super simple, of course, but it's relatively more simple than some of the ones we find on the airliners. But then we've got the flight engineer station, which is fully functional, and it is meant to work. Like, literally everything here is meant to work, hence the fact that here we've got our fuel pumps, our bus ties, everything. I forgot galley power. You just turned that on now. Doesn't really matter. There's not much to be going on back there. But yeah, anyway, only if we wanted to. And after Bulger City VOR, we're gonna go ahead and tune in Drake. Never thought I'd say that, but that is actually a VOR name. Drake on 114.1, and we will have that on the standby list. And we're gonna be spoiled at Phoenix with a bunch of VORs to fly into, so not much to track outbound. We're just gonna be tracking like inbound, like all the way there, which is gonna be super easy. Piece of cake. Oh my gosh. When will I ever learn? On the other 727, I did have like the right to use wing views because they were inside, they were not outside. Now they're inside. That was loud. It just scares me every time. That's like the only thing this plane is missing. Like, the cabin would be the icing on the cake. That would be perfect. That would be like amazing. It just had a cabin. But I mean, I guess that does save up a lot of frames from the polygons, all that stuff back there. But I mean, they should definitely add the cabin pretty soon. I mean, I hope so. That would be amazing. Alright, I'm flying it pretty slowly. We've got quite a bit of wind up here. Alright, and we've got Drake VOR tuned in. We're going to fly Drake. That's 14,000 feet. And then 14,000. The airport elevation is 1,134 feet. So we've got 1,130 on landing altitude. So we make sure to subtract like everything. 1,100 from like everything every time we look at our altitude, just to make sure that we're fine above ground level. So, pit start for Phoenix 115.6. Yeah, a lot of stuff to look at there. Alright, and it seems like we are almost about to fly over the VOR, so we've got our course. Hopefully we don't hit the cone of confusion. Well, we will. It always happens. But not to worry. It is literally just, depending on how far up, like, when you're so close to the VOR, depending on how far up above from the VOR you are, it's never going to hit zero. So when you hit that exact altitude above the VOR, it's just going to, like, the needle is just going to, like, move around a lot. We're getting really close. There it is. There we go. Front flag, and we're going to put in 130, and we're flying outbound. So, let's go ahead and go heading hold, heading select, and we're going to fly 130 towards, for about 44 miles, so this is very useful because this tells us DME, and this is the DME from the station we just crossed. So that's just gonna tell us how far we are from the VOR, and 44 miles away from the VOR we have Quebec 13 Airways, so that's just something it's really useful to know. Alright, we're just going to continue flying outbound. Take a look at Navigraph, everything's running pretty smoothly. We're navigating nicely. So, waypoint perfume, and then segment Quebec 13. Alright, so this one, so that's Oscar Alpha Lima, and then actually we're gonna go to scan first. So scan, hold on, let's take a look here. Does scan show up? Yes, it does. So scan is it's just gonna be the route to Quebec 13, and then after that it's gonna be Watro, and that's gonna be your transition. We are going to be making an ILS runway 8 approach today. This aircraft does, I guess, well, it doesn't. I don't think it features auto land. Pretty sure it doesn't, but it does have glide slope system. Actually, let's do a quick test here. You're going to see the glide slope. Usually, when something is armed, it would be amber, but glide slope, it's going to stay amber. It's just going to light up when you caught the glide slope. So we're going to sort of manually vector ourselves in, and that will do just fine. So let's just plan this out. So to scan, this is scan, I'm assuming. Scan intersection. And then all the way down here, we've got, whoops. We're gonna be flying scan. Like literally all the way to Watro. So this is Watro, which is Denton Ranch. It's 73 Alpha Zulu. So Watro is not VOR. However, right on Quebec 13. So if we take a look at this, scan to scan and then Quebec 13. So we're gonna head to scan. Once we're at that 44 mile point, we're gonna hit scan and then Quebec 13 route to Watro. We're gonna go to Watro via Quebec 13, and Quebec 13 has got a few waypoints. It's gonna be full, booze, perfume, and then Watro, which is the final one. I've got my navlog here, just in case. About 29 miles, and then we won't need our DME2 for anything else, so we can just tune in the Nets VOR, which was, hold on a second, let me just take a look at the chart. It was, yeah, Boulder City VOR, so we can just tune that in, and assuming that it has a DME, which it apparently does. I think it does, yes. We can just track that inbound. Very fun flight. Seems like scan is the halfway point, so taking a look at this, we can clearly see that then it's going to be full. There we go. Alright, 38 miles. Okay, Q13. And as soon as it hits... As soon as it hits 44, we are going to tune out of this VOR for VOR 2. And tune in Boulder City, just so that we have that as reference to track that in. Otherwise, we're just gonna have some headings. And just a tad windy. What the flight director wants. We're actually on heading. Alright, just about 1,000 to go. Alright, 45 miles. Cool. We're gonna switch over to Boulder City at 116.7, and we can see that it is active. 1,000 to go. I know, shut up. We are about 138 miles away from that VOR. Boulder City. And our final approach altitude, that is on the Phoenix. Hold on, let's get rid of this. And this, clean up the clutter. We don't need. And then Phoenix. And then we're going to go ahead and look at our ILS runway 8 approach. The final approach altitude is 1882 AGL 3000. MSL, so decision height about 1368, 3000 for the was up waypoint. So about 3000, and let's go ahead and take a look at our descent calculator. Target altitude is take a look at this. 3000, angle 3 degrees, top descent about 93 miles away. So 93 miles out. Okay. Still gotta fly towards this heading for another, let me take a look here for some specific numbers. Quebec 13, and then basically, actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to turn right a little bit to sort of center with our flight plan. Gonna wait for that 33,000 feet. It took us a while to get to a cruising altitude. So we are on heading hold, which is pretty good. We tuned 116.7, flying to the station. There it is. And the course being, actually the course is something I forgot to set up, so we're gonna go ahead and take a look at that. So the course for Boulder City VOR is going to be about 108 degrees. So 108. Alright. Nice. Is that about right? I think it is. 117 miles. I think this is as much as it's gonna keep. I'll bring my throttle up. Alright, and that needle is going to center. So, as soon as that needle centers, we can fly directly towards the waypoint. There we go. No need to worry. We can just hold, actually, let's just do 32,000 feet. 32,500 feet. Sure, that works. Just for the sake of it keeping the altitude. That works for me. There we go. Power stays. That. I find cargo flights very, very fun. I'm also using my joystick. Oh my gosh, it's starting to center now. So let's make sure it is. Yes. Yes. It's centering. So we're just gonna fly immediately towards that one. It's centering like, but very slowly. Kind of meant to be slow since we're not really like right on the course. Okay. As I was saying, I'm flying with a joystick because my alpha, I'm getting a replacement unit being sent to me in like a few days. So, that's how we are currently flying, believe it or not. And take a look at nav lock. We've got VOR lock good to go. It's just that its light is off on the autopilot since we're not currently flying towards the VOR at the moment. But the speed's slowly coming up. That's pretty cool. Been an hour 25. It's 5:54 here. Flight director wants us to start turning now. But I'm just gonna wait until the needle's fully centered because this thing is still not quite there. Since it's 108 into Boulder City, I am going to, you know what, I'm going to take care of that later. Because I can start descending like when the needle centers, it doesn't really matter. We're not that close to the airport, still quite a bit of time left. Very nice. See, the flight director's kind of changing its mind there. You can tell. Whoops. I'm gonna bring the throttle back just a tad so that it doesn't exceed the airspeed limit. Just a tad. There it is, needle's centering now. Yep, it's accurate. Have it above the departure EPR. Throttle back just a tiny little bit. See, that's slowly coming into center itself. I mean, GPS is a lot easier, but man, you know, flying VORs is just fun. It's very fun. It's just a different experience, really. Alright, as the needle is starting to center, since we are on 116.7, we can just start turning right towards that VOR. Make the left turn ever so slightly, and we've got 77 miles, 77 DME away from the VOR, so we're going to go ahead and start our initial descent pretty soon. Actually, I don't think we have to do that now, but for Bulger City, we have to be at just, yeah, not yet. We're still pretty far off. Take a look at those contrails. Pretty cool. Bring the throttle back just a tiny little bit. Just to comply with that airspeed limit. We don't want to go too quick. Start to the Coyote 5 Star. Gotta fly directly to that. Speed is good. Pretty good. Whoops, forgot again. This time it wasn't that bad. Luckily, there's an airport down there. I'm not really sure which one it is, but it's an airport. We can actually check the S-plane map. Seems to be KINS, which is, I think it's like Creech Air Force Base, which is Indian Springs. That is Indian Springs VOR. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Bring the throttle back just a tiny little bit, so we don't overspeed. We're flying this thing pretty close to the limits. About 59 miles out, and then the next course. Well, we're gonna fly on 108 for a while, I think. Then radial 290, which translates to 110. So we'd fly 110 into Watro. Well, actually, not Watro, into Drake VOR. 114.1, and that's going to be on the standby now, 114.1, so we can tune into that pretty quickly. Alright. And the Drake's heading, so we're going to fly a heading of about 127 until we're at Mayer, and that's like a few miles. 7 nautical miles. Actually, no, not 7. That's for the hold. But Mayer, you get the point. We're about 49 miles out. For Watro, it says flight level 290. 13,000 at Coyote or Mayhem. And then there's the Pitzer VOR. The radius about 35 miles, 35 DME, 160. So here it says a course of 156 directly towards it. We can pick up the ILS approach pretty soon as soon as we're into Pittsburgh. So no need to worry. This plane, like, never bores you. There's always something to talk about. There's always something to monitor. It's like if you're that type of person that just goes like, hey, I need something to fly on that I don't get bored of all the time, like, this is your plane. definitely. Like, I am positive that you'll just have a lot of fun on it. It is a little bit of a learning curve, but I mean, especially if you just want to fly VORs. If you don't know how to do that, then it's going to take a bit to understand exactly how to fly those. So we're about 3070. I mean, I myself am not an expert at them. I just know how to fly them properly to get me from point A to point B, you know? That's pretty much all you need to know, though. How to get to your specific points. So, now we should consider starting the descent to Valtro, flight level 290. And we're going to go ahead and put in descent and take control of our speed, which is not going to affect our navigation at all. We're going to start descending. So bring the speed back. Start descending towards flight level 290. There's no need to really go that fast. That is another airport, which I have no clue which one it is. I think it's Tucson. Could be wrong. No, I think no, it's Boulder City probably. Tucson is like way far up north. At least it should be. I'm not really sure. Not really that good at geography with, you know, the west. About 24 miles, and we're gonna fly 108 still, outbound towards Huatro, and then it's gonna be as soon as we hit Huatro, it's gonna be flight level 290 and 110. And by the time we're at Drake, we want to descend to 13,000 feet, so that we get there by the time we're at Mayhem. And then we're gonna set up the ILS on standby as soon as we tune into Hits or VOR for Phoenix. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I'm going to keep my speed knob like right on that 8 point, like right on the tip, a little bit over that midpoint. If we take a look here, we are approaching the Boulder City VOR. We are about 17 miles out. You can see we're sort of counteracting the wind here. Sorry. See, we're sort of flying sideways, so that's pretty much it. Alright. Not bad. We're gonna hold 290 here. Descend immediately after we hit Huatro to flight level 130, or 110 was it? Let's go ahead and take a look here. Turbojets expect 250 knots, 130 at Mayhem, so it's going to be 13,000 feet. Alright, perfect. And then alt select. And then we're just going to hold the altitude. There we go. Beautiful. Speed's gonna come down. We're gonna bring up the thrust a little more. Just a tiny little bit more. We don't want to get to the overspeed point. So, taking a look at the arrival chart, we're about 7 miles out. We are going to continue flying outbound on this heading. So this is 108, and we're gonna fly like 122 or 123 to counteract the wind. So wind correction angle of about 14 degrees. We're gonna start seeing some ortho, don't worry. Yeah, there it is, it's back there. We'll start seeing that soon. Alright, don't worry, plane. Heading select. Keep it there. And hold the altitude too. And there we go. Flying Boulder City. We're still getting closer to it, but it's starting to sort of get crazy with the CDI needle. There we go. It says that we're close to it now, but we probably just overflew it. And if we take a look at Navigraph, that is true. We just overflew the VOR, so we're gonna fly towards Drake now, and we are gonna want to have Drake actually on 4.1. We don't really have to track outbound in 114.1 for the DME 2 to show up, and Drake is about 110 on the course. It says about 131 miles. Very nice. Whoops. We're just gonna hold 290 here, so we don't have to descend at Latro. We're already out 190, so we're just gonna fly this course inbound all the way over to Drake, which is yeah, frequency is good. 110 directly towards it. The needle's centered nearly. We're just gonna hold the heading. Kind of getting windy. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Phoenix ATIS. So Phoenix METAR. It's good that we have the DME show up here for Drake VOR, and we'll hold the altitude. As I said, the temperature at Phoenix is 26 degrees, so we'll be good. 2974 on the altimeter, and I forgot. It reminds me that I forgot to reset the pressure, but that's okay. 2974, which is 1007 hectopascals, and winds are, holy cow, so south-southwest, 200 degrees at 26 knots, gusting to 41 knots. So that is like some pretty intense wind, if you ask me. But we can hold it off, right? Okay. And now we are supposedly, this is like the Boulder City area, 290, so let's continue flying along this heading with the wind correction angle. Alright, so being about 113 miles from Drake, in which we are supposed to be at 15,000, actually 14,000 feet. Let's go ahead and bring up our TOD calculator. So let's say we have to be at 14,000 feet. It's our target altitude, 14,000 feet, and our descent angle is 3 degrees, so we're going to start to descend about 47 DME from Drake to 14,000 feet. That's how it's going to work. VOR nav can be pretty fun. Pretty fun. Boulder City. There's Perfume waypoint. We're just gonna fly straight towards Drake. It is All the airways are pretty much just on course. It's just that perfume just kind of, I think, actually, yeah, perfume kind of deviates about 2 degrees. Then it's gonna be, or was it Watro? I think it's Watro. Yeah, Watro. Deviates about 2 degrees. But it's all pretty much on the same heading. Whoops. And make sure to throttle back just a tiny little bit so that we don't cross the overspeed. Don't do some damage to the plane. So, 47 DME, we're going to start our descent to flight level 140. And after that, we're going to do 130. We're just going to stay at 130 by the time we reach Mayhem. And then we will start our ILS approach. It'll be descent to 6,000 feet, basically. It's going to be straight in. We're not going to tune into the ILS immediately. We're going to tune into Phoenix Pitzer VOR 115.6. And there it'll be. Why is that cloud like a square shape? That's weird. It kind of looks like a square tile to me. Oh well. Okay, speed's coming back. You gotta monitor the speed. No auto throttle on this plane. Take care of that. Speed's coming back. We're gonna keep it at about 300 knots. Actually, let me just bring my knob up to like match it exactly. So about 300 knots. We're gonna keep that. So let's go ahead and go back to our approach chart for the call out 5 arrival. So we are soon going to be approaching Watro. We're going to speed back a little tiny bit more to match our bugs there. And let's check our V card for arrival. So VREF 129, flaps 30, and we don't have our go around stuff yet. Temperature right now is minus 40. Fuel elevation 1130. So we've got that one set. For fuel, we are way more than fine on fuel. And QNH 1007, and if we confirm that with the METAR that we just looked at, that is correct. So, yeah, honestly, I should switch this to 2992, but I'm honestly like not really bothered. It's not that huge of a problem, right? Let's take a look at that DME. We have to monitor like a bunch of things. Needle's not really centered. Doesn't matter. There's like a wind correction angle, so it's nothing that really bothers me. And there's the tile cloud again. Like, is that just like for a few clouds, or is that for like all the clouds? I really want to know that for sure. About 68 miles, and what did the descent calc said? So 47 nautical miles, since that's our target altitude. 47 nautical miles, and we're going to set about 3.0. So 47 miles, and we're going to send to 14,000. By the time we're at Drake, actually, I think we're like going to tune in right on to Pitzer right after Drake. So we're going to take a look at this actually. So I'm going to go to Sky Vector again. And it doesn't let us look at this star, but maybe maybe sim brief is going to be a little more helpful. So this is okay. So it just shows that it just shows this full star call yachts. Okay, so this is a star, but what about this VOR behind it? There it is, Drake. So Drake, and then Drake to this point. I think it's like 10 miles or so. And then we make the right turn towards Pittsburgh. Watch the DME, we're getting closer to our top of descent. We'll continue flying along. Right out Watro. I think we're gonna have to make the wind correction greater wind correction angle. Sorry about that. I keep forgetting. I keep forgetting. Alright, we're gonna stay right on that one, and we're gonna sort of center the needle a little bit more. There we go. Lots better. And by this point, we are going to go ahead and set our alt select to 14,000 feet. And what we are going to do is we are going to go ahead and scroll the wheel and start descending to flight level 140. There we go. Start the descent. 140. There we go. The plane, for some reason, I haven't figured out the reason why it doesn't like it when I idle a thrust. But I can bring it like way far down, but like not idle. Because the plane's just gonna start yelling at me like, Actually, you know, this is a good time to set my altimeter to what it's supposed to be. There it is. 29902, finally. Now that doesn't bother me anymore. We gotta descend a little bit, a tad faster than that. Oh wait, how is that? Wait a minute. How is that reversed? Hold on a minute. Speed brakes. Okay. There we go. Great. Bring that back. Actually, let's just straight up descend to 13,000 feet, since we gotta be there by Mayhem. Okay, so units, okay, temperature, and it's cloudy. So Phoenix weather. It is cloudy and it's raining, and we have rain effects on, so maybe we actually get lucky and get to see some of those. That would be great. Perfect. So, let's take a look at transition altitude. Altimeter is still 297.4. By the way, thank you so much for 9 likes, guys. If we hit 10, that would be amazing. If not, that's totally fine. I mean, thank you guys for all the support you've given me so far. I really appreciate that. So 297.4. So now it is the time to set that. 297.4. We're we're gonna get the altitude chime pretty soon. I think we're gonna hit our target altitude soon. We are almost on Drake. Actually, we can go ahead and chill out with the descent angle. Just a tad. Oh yeah, I'm seeing some rain. Oh yeah, definitely. Let's actually do... Actually, you know what? Yeah, 13,000 is fine. We'll just keep 13,000 at this point. About 13,000 feet, and we're keeping the heading. I start to see some rain there, and some rain effects on our windshield, so... I've got the rain effects enabled, so that will be cool. Ah, I forgot. Out select arm, and let's keep it at 12,000 feet. I think it's going to start pitching up. Yep. Climb directly towards that. Alt select. Bring the thrust up a little bit. I was going to start this climbing. Where are the rain effects? A little weird. Let's take a look at the graphics settings. So it seems like, yeah, allow windshield effect is on. I don't have Vulkan enabled at the moment, so we should be fine. And we are, I think, that I should climb to 14,000 feet. Why? Because there's terrain. So, I think if we stay at a lower altitude, it could be risky. Alright, we're at about 11 DME. Throttle's coming up. Great. So, throttle up a little more. Beautiful. We're just about to hit Drake VOR, and I'm gonna have 115.6 tuned in on my standby, since that is the Phoenix picture VOR. So we're right about to cross that. 115.6, we're gonna tune into that one. Alright, 1,000 to go. Throttle's coming up. It's about 6 miles. Should probably take a look at the weather radar, bring the tilt up just a little bit. There we go. Alright, speed's coming back. You don't want to speed too much. Whoops, altitude hold. Here it is. Whatever. I always forget to hit the alt hold button. That's why this happens to me. Alright, we're flying from the station, and we have now passed the VOR. So we take a look at 115.6 and the course, which is 156. So it's 156. 156, yes. So yeah, that looks better. So since we're on Drake, we're just gonna fly this a bit more to the point where the needle centers, and then actually I should literally actually start descending now to let's do 12,000 feet. I don't know the terrain below me. So actually, yeah, 13,000. 13,000 is fine. We'll start descending. Okay. So, considering the fact that the terrain is pretty high at the moment, how about we just do 14,000, and I am going to hit out select and wait for the time that they actually tell us to like descend, because it's giving me like a pretty long hole here of 14,000 feet until we hit like Mayhem, and then we descend to 13,000. So I'm gonna hold at 14. We are pretty quick. So the needle is going to start to center pretty soon. There it is. I see the needle coming in. So we're going to switch to the VOR frequency. I'm going to tune this in on VHF too so that we can see the DME. So we're about 69 miles out. Nice. Just going to wait for that needle to start centering. I mean, it is centering, but I'm just going to wait for it to fully center so that we can switch over. And navigate solely on the VOR. So I think we can switch over now to nav lock mode. Switch that over to nav lock on the flight director. And we're going to flight straight towards Phoenix VOR, Pitzer VOR, towards Phoenix Airport. And at this point, this is the start of the approach. The start of the final approach, should I say. And we're going to start to see some ortho, don't worry at all. I definitely did not delete the ortho for Phoenix. I fly in here pretty often. Let's hope I didn't. 63 miles out. We're about 63 miles away from Phoenix Airport. So, if we take a look at our chart, we are flying straight towards the VOR. I don't know about the terrain below us. It doesn't seem like the skies are clear enough to know. So let us know about the terrain below us. But if we're descending, I'm not going to descend to 13,000. I'll just descend straight to 5,000 feet or whatever. About 5,000 feet. Yeah, to hike it. Alice. So where is Alice? So we're flying straight in. When we hit Mayhem 13 at 250 knots, so I'm gonna start bringing the speed back to 250. So slowly bring it back to comply with that restriction, and then we'll be good. Great. So, starting to go down on that restriction. About 56 miles. And then we'll continue our descent down to flight level, well, just 5,000 feet. And final approach speed being 3,000, but we're going to descend to 5,000 feet. And now that I have Phoenix VOR tuned in on my active and on my second one, I'm going to have my ILS frequency tuned in too. So we'll take a look at that. ILS DME, which is India Sierra, Yankee, Quebec 111.75. 111.75 is now tuned in, and let's tune it in on the standby on the co-pilot side too. Great. Now we're at about 250, so I'm going to go ahead and increase the speed so that we don't go below that, because we want to get there pretty quickly, preferably. Alright, so, holding about 250 on that restriction, we got a pretty big intercept angle. That's just what I think, because the winds are gusting 41 today, like that's just a lot. And actually, I think we can just slowly start descending to 5,000 feet. I don't think it matters anymore. Like, we're sort of already past the terrain. You can already see that here. Okay, so I'll select Actually, no. I'm just supposed to move the scroll wheel a little bit. Didn't notice we were low. So we're gonna start descending to 5,000 feet. I should probably lower the volume of that music, right? Alright. So the music volume has been lowered, and we can just continue descending towards 5,000 feet. ILS frequency has been tuned in onto the standby nav radio. Alright, descent checklist. Okay, seatbelt signs, cooling doors, cabin altitude set to 200 below any elevation. 18,000 feet. Altimeters have been set already. Lights as required at 10,000 feet. Since we haven't hit 10,000, we're fine. And yes, we are a little bit to the left of the course. There's still a bit of terrain, but it's going to start to clear out pretty soon. So I can tell by the chart here. It's not that high. Terrain is pretty low at the moment. And actually, I don't have to be descending that fast. That makes me realize that I can safely just descend a little slower, because there's still quite a bit of time left till we hit that point. We're still about 43 miles out, so I'm going to try to keep my descent rate pretty low. But you know, that just make sure that it's there. Alright, beautiful. Oh boy. Dude. You know what, whatever, it's fine. I will always forget, I guess. On the 727-100 I don't have that issue, but on this one I do. Oh boy. I think, you know, I'm not gonna do that now, but I think, if you were to test, I think the ones that are actually closer to the engine are less loud. Like, it's just interesting, like, weird. And yes, that is the start of the ortho, so we're gonna start seeing some ortho now. For the city of Phoenix. Slowly bring her down. Flying right towards that VOR. So we are on VOR navigation at the moment. Make sure we keep that speed restriction though, so that I just don't exceed the speed. Here's the start of the ortho tile. I think the limit starting right about the point that I just passed is 250 at 13,000 feet, and we are at 10,000 feet because we're just going to descend straight towards the approach here at Sarte. I mean Haiku, that's what I meant. Course 078. Make sure I'll set that for the ILS approach. Alright, hitting about 10,000 feet here, landing lights are coming on. Runway turn-off lights are coming on, and wing lights are also going to come on. Great. So, what we're going to do now is we are going to continue to navigate towards the Phoenix VOR. We're about to hit that radius there. And I'm actually going to announce the stream right now on the servers, just so that people can be here. There we go. If they want to see me land. There we go. Alright, let's keep descending. We are about 25 DME. Favorite streamers streaming, thank you. Bernard the Noob, welcome to the stream. Nice to have you here. Alright, hold it at about 250. I'm just gonna increase the throttle a little bit. About 9,000, since we're on the VOR. Make sure the needle is centered. About 23 DME, and the VOR is right on the airport, so we're about 23 miles out. So we're coming in from this side, and we're gonna have to sort of vector ourselves. So, actually, you know what? We're gonna stop flying on the VOR, and we're gonna make a left turn to join the ILS, like on downwind. Not now though, like in a few minutes. I'm flying the MD-11 to high T. That's awesome. You picked it up? I've heard a pretty negative critique about the MD-11, so I'm happy some people are enjoying it though. I've heard people have been having a lot of fun with that. So I'm going to wait for about 10 DME, and then we're going to go ahead and turn right to join the downwind for the ILS. This is actually my second time doing a flight on this plane with the VORs. So it's really been working out pretty well. It's pretty cool. We're at idle speed at the moment, so we can, you can see the wind since it's gusting 41. I think it's nice weather for some screenshots, right? Totally realistic shading there. On approach, like when there's good ortho, I always like to take screenshots. I'm loving it, delivering medical supplies to IT due to the hurricane, the country being very poor. That's cool. That is cool. Alright, it's about 13 miles, not yet. Actually, you know what, yes, we should start making our turn, towards the downwind leg. Alright, it's gonna be pretty sharp. There's about, 2,000 to go. Actually, we're gonna go ahead and descend a little bit faster. Alright, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and tune in 111.75 on my first, there it is, and it's going to be an approach glide slope, auto glide slope, ILS approach, so 111.75. There we go. Holy cow, you can tell that the wind is just tough at the moment. It's pretty tough. Is that a 717? It's a 727. Bernard the Noob. Fly with Rev, welcome to the stream. So glad to have you in here. It's great. We are just about to join the ILS into Phoenix. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and... Whoops. The ILS, okay, the frequency is tuned in, and the course is 078, so we make sure to put that one in to track, yes, we're flying to that one. And we are gonna, oh, I forgot, I'll select. We're gonna go ahead and hold 5,000 feet, hopefully. Please. No, okay. We're gonna fly ourselves up to 5,000 again. So, I'm gonna start setting my flaps pretty soon. I'm gonna drop the speed. quite a bit of speed dropping required here. Great. And we are going to need some thrust here since I set my climb to be pretty steep. Alright, there we go. We're gonna go ahead and hold 5,000 feet. Oh, look at how hazy it got. Like, the ground is just barely visible now. Alright. Alright, and we can start making our turn pretty soon. In descent right now, wish me luck. Okay, good luck, man. Good luck. Hopefully everything goes well with the vertical profile, too. It will be a pretty late flap extension. We got the, for the chart, we got that darker area on the right side. Hold it right there. About 20 miles. We're gonna go ahead and make that turn. Flaps 2. Flaps are gonna come down. Alright. Flaps 5 actually, wait. There we go. Just that I've got my flap lever on the Bravo, so it's just kind of getting stuck there. It's different from using the flap button. So we're flying out. Well, we can fly in right at about now, actually. So I'm gonna go ahead and go disengage heading select. It's gonna start to make a left turn. Seems like it's gonna make the right. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna select heading select. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna vector it in. Whoops, no. Yeah, this side. Let it make that turn, vector it in, and it's automatically gonna catch that. Make sure I select approach glide slope, and it'll automatically switch over. That's what I think, because that's what happened yesterday. I haven't flown this plane too much, but that's what usually happens. And then flaps 15. There we go. And I think it caught the glide slope. Whoops, we're flying the opposite direction. Kind of weird. Oh, wait. Okay, so now it's on the, yeah, now it's on the localizer, okay. So we're still gonna be fine, because it's gonna fly it in anyway. Hopefully not, too late. Bring the speed up just a bit. And glide slope is, since glide slope is alive, we can go ahead and leave that do its thing with the altitude. And the airport's right over there. It's gonna basically just intercept that. Just kind of like right after that point. I think at like Jam Hill. I think we have Glendale Municipal right to our left. There's runway 8. I think it's just holding it there. It's just gonna hold this altitude until it captures the glide slope again. Because we're past glide slope capture altitude. pass below. I mean, below. That's what I meant. Get your landing rates in as we approach Phoenix here. We are... I don't want to extend flaps any further until we put the gear down. So for that, I'm just going to wait till we're on course. And what was I going to do? Right, the card here. So I'm going to set bugs for VRF, which is 127, and it's going to be flaps 30 landing. So it's not going to be flap down landing, it's going to be flaps 30. And 127 to compensate for the winds that are blowing in from the southwest. It's from the south-southwest. So we're just going to come in here. We're going to catch the glide slope again, and we're going to land. Holding about 140. 14 miles. I think runway 8/26 is the longest runway at Phoenix. Or it's like very similar to the length of some of the 25s or 7s. There's the runway, and we're coming in. Pretty soon. There it is. I think that just means that it's like... Nah, that just means that it's 1,000 to go. But soon it's gonna start to turn left since the needle's to the right. Let's just wait for that. Let it pitch up. I should have turned left, that would have been easier. That's actually what we were supposed to do. But we accidentally turned right, but that's fine. And since this plane does not have auto land, I'm going to have to disengage autopilot at about 1,000 feet. So wish me luck on the landing. Keep the speed a little bit higher. And learn to fly a little bit above VRF. I'm actually going to add 5 knots to VRF for wind correction. Because of the wind, yes. Because last night it was pretty windy at Providence, and I like slammed it because I was like right on VRF over the numbers. Alright, coming in. There it is, the glide slope is alive. Gear down. Flaps 20. Let's make sure that that is at actually flaps 20. Actually, let's just go flap full here. Make sure it's not idle. And we're turning left. We've got... Localizer is alive. It's going to kind of struggle with the wind there. And I don't really have the runway fully in sight because of the haze right over the runway. Looking like a pretty cool approach so far. It's gonna get really windy, really windy, just look. Just watch, just watch. Continue. Alright, there's downtown Phoenix. Very nice VFR landmarks. Take a look at. Mr. Etz, in my opinion, did a great job on the scenery. Got 2,700. And that should be about 1,500 feet, I think. So we're approaching that 1,000 feet point in which we're going to have to hand fly this thing in. I'm also waiting to have like the runway fully in sight, and I think I do. There we go. It's gonna call out 1,000 pretty soon. I'm sure about it. Don't aim for the taxiways plane. There's the stadium, about 1,000 feet, and autopilot off. Trim her down. Nice and easy. There we go. Slow it down a lot. We're gonna have to need. We're not gonna land at 150. Alright, don't worry. I'll keep it there. I'll hold it. Alright, so this tells me a lot about how we're gonna descend. We're gonna have to use a lot of yoke correction here. Don't worry, we're fine. One thing I can learn from this is to not pitch down too much on this thing. Don't let it pitch down, because when it comes down, it's gonna come down hard.
100.
There it is.
50. 40. 30. 20.
Alright.
10.
It'll float there. Let's bring it down. Alright, 136. Not bad. Forgot the auto brakes, but that's fine. We'll slow it down. There you go. About 80 knots. We're gonna go ahead and expedite at the end of the runway. Clear them here. Manual braking. Flaps are coming up. Speed brakes in. And welcome to Phoenix. New lights are coming off. We're gonna go ahead and exit right here. That was like sort of a float, really. Hold it there. Start the APU. There it is. Alright. So, I'm gonna go ahead and stop right here to do my after landing checklist. Alright, so after landing checklist, APU is coming on, and I think we have to go ground off on the oil cooler. Do you remember that? Let's see. After landing, lights is required, auto brakes disarmed, transponder on, out, probe heaters off. So, on out, and probe heaters are coming off too. Let's see. As required, window heat off, weather radar off. So, window heat's coming off. Weather radar is gonna come off in just about a second. And then speed brakes down, flaps up, galley power off. And then flaps are up, and then just turn off the galley power here. And then if I ground switch ground off on the oil cooler, APU start, tap the light on. Let's go. Whoops. Take care of those lights. Amazing. That was a really fun flight, guys. Very fun, very fun. And I'm gonna go ahead and grab Phoenix charts, actually. Didn't have those. So we're gonna go ahead and taxi to the ramp. Report information. I think the ramp is on the other side, actually. Yes, northwest cargo ramp. So, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna turn right, and I'm gonna cross runway 8, and then go to Alpha Romeo, and then taxi all the way down to the northwest ramp, and taxi the plane there. Shall we? What a great flight. It is really, really cloudy here at Phoenix. Really cloudy. It took us about 2 hours. And we're gonna go ahead and turn right here and cross on Bravo 10, then Alpha Romeo, or Alpha 8. Pretty nice, pretty nice. If someone could help me set up my pilot properly, that would be great. Well, for X-Plane 11, because since VORs Velocity launched, I've only had CTDs, like six of them, while using S-Pilot. And I don't really know why. I don't quite know the reason, because I set up everything correctly. So I'm not really sure exactly what it is. But hopefully I get to fix that soon so that I can fly VORs on X-Plane. Because for VORs flights I only do MSFS now. So that's unfortunate. Because I'd like to fly, I like to fly VORs on X-Plane because that's what I use mostly. We're going to take a look at the landing replay right after we park, because I really want to see how I did there. I feel like I floated it way too much, but I mean that's justifiable, you know, because of the winds. The winds were terrible, actually, especially for a landing from the southwest. The winds were not in our favor, so we ended up sort of floating it way too much. But that's okay. That's okay. Slow down on the taxi. What a great day to fly VFR, right? Pretty quick on the taxi. Take a look at the tower view. Taxiing pretty quickly. And I am going to go ahead and turn right on the ramp and park right there. We could have gone to cargo, but cargo was like literally at the other side of the airport, so that would have been like way longer for a taxi. Way longer. Slow it down a little bit here, and we're gonna park it right on these hangars. Let's pretend that they told us to specifically come here to park the plane. Okay, we're gonna bring it in. Careful with the wing. Right here. So that it doesn't really, it's not really too disruptive with the doors. Go ahead and set the brakes, and we're gonna go ahead and close, let's see, APU gens, and go ahead and shut down the aircraft. Alright, beacon off. If this was a passenger flight, we'd turn off the fasten seatbelt signs at this point. I'm gonna go ahead and switch this to APU essential power and turn these off. We should get the lights coming on. Great. Whoops. I'm gonna go now. Wish me good luck on the landing. Good luck, Captain Jared, on that landing. And I hope you have an awesome day. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you. So, go ahead and turn off the hydraulic system. Let's see. Take a look at the... Alright. Okay. So, packs are also coming off. And emergency exit lights. Go ahead and turn those off too. Decent angle to turn them off. Everything else seems to be okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to shut down the APU. APU shutdown, and we're going to go ahead and come over here. Alright, and we're going to turn off the bleeds. Those have been off. Switch this to standby, and bus tie for this one. And for the beacon lights, we're gonna go ahead and turn those off. I'm pretty sure I already did that. Emergency lights off, and we can go ahead and switch the battery to off. Alright, she is now cold and dark. So, we're gonna go ahead and take a look at the replays. So, I'm gonna go ahead and kill this music and bring in the replay music. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at what we've got here for the landing. So, we're coming in here. I'm gonna go ahead and take a look at it from here. So I know we floated quite a bit because the winds were literally blowing like straight towards us. Made us float a lot. There it is. There's the float. There's when I started to idle. I was also scared to bring it down immediately. And the sounds on this thing are amazing. They truly are. They are very good. I don't even want to take a look at that 2 times, but let's go ahead and look at a tower view to see how that was from the tower. See, the winds were pushing us up. Pretty tough to get it on the ground. Alright, not bad. Let's go ahead and take a look at one more view, because the passenger reviews are pretty broken.
Light slow. Light slow. Light slow. Light slow. Light slow.
This view is very good too.
50, 40, 30, 20.
If only I did the flare better. I think I flared too early at first. But not bad. 132. Like, if you know how to land this thing properly, then you're like really good at flying this. Alright. So that is pretty much it for the replays. Let's go ahead and roll the music here. Thank you guys so much for joining the stream. It was truly very, very fun to fly with you guys from Sacramento all the way down here to Phoenix and fly VOR on the 727. This is like the first full VOR flight on this channel since we usually use the modern airliners and the FMCs and all that. So this was truly a great experience for me, and I hope you guys enjoyed me flying all the way down here to Phoenix. If you guys like this sort of content, please consider subscribing so that I can, pull out some more of this content, and so that you get, notified of every time I upload something new. So once again, thank you guys so much for watching. I would like to thank all of you for being here with me and coming along with me on this trip. And I will see you guys next time. And take care, everyone. Bye-bye.